Hi everyone, my name is Neerja Skantharaja. I am the Partner Engagement Manager at GA4GH, or the Global Alliance for Genomics and Health. I am based in Toronto, Canada at the Ontario Institute for Cancer Research, and I'm very sad that I couldn't be there in person today to eat some Texas barbecue with you all, but please enjoy on my behalf, and I hope I'll be able to join you at the next meeting. I'm here to talk today about GA4GH, who we are, and why we are part of the neuroscience community. So I will start off by saying right off the bat that we are not part of the neuroscience community because of our in-depth expertise of all things neuroscience, but rather because of the success we've had in building a global forum for the genomics field. And before I get into what that global forum looks like today and how we operate, I'd like to take a step back to understand why GA4GH came to be in the first place. It doesn't take an expert genomic researcher to know that genomics has seen a massive and ongoing change in technology over the last few decades. For example, sequencing the human genome. What cost $3 billion and took a decade can now be done for $1,000 in less than a day. And while this presents a huge amount of opportunity, it also presents a unique set of challenges. One of those challenges is scale. This is a paper from 2021 showcasing the exome sequencing collection and analysis of more than 400,000 UK Biobank participants. Not only do we have more individual sets of data for each participant, but we also have an increasing number of initiatives that are found within different areas, including clinical genomic medicine, research, national initiatives, and cohort studies. These 200 plus genomic initiatives are creating huge amounts of data, and we're seeing a shift. Data is increasingly coming from clinical care and trials rather than academic research. That brings us to our next challenge, which is ensuring that we are breaking down those silos between research and clinical care settings, and that we're setting up pipelines between the two for the exchange of information, which is so crucial, especially during times of health emergencies, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. To ensure we can efficiently collect and analyze data dispersed across the world, it's crucial to implement standards that streamline this process. By doing so, we maximize the value of the data and improve the speed and accuracy of our insights. This brings me to the GA4GH mission, which is to accelerate progress in genomic science and human health by developing standards and framing policy for the responsible sharing of genomic and health-related data. And so I hope now you can see why this mission is so important and how addressing those aforementioned challenges can really have an impact on the way that data can transform our lives. GA4GH accomplishes this mission by enabling international data sharing, promoting sharing across the translational continuum, encouraging technology-enabled federated approaches, and promoting interoperability. And in case I use that word federated or federation again in this presentation, I just want to explain what that is. And a really simple way to think about it is bringing the question that you have to the data as opposed to bringing the data to you. And this slide lists a lot of high-level ways through which we achieve these aims, but I'm going to dive in a little bit more so you can see exactly what it is that we're doing at GA4GH. Our ecosystem of participants and organizational members spans 100 plus countries and has produced more than 44 products, including technical standards, but also regulatory policies and frameworks. These open source products enable research and healthcare systems to learn from each other to the benefit of people and patients everywhere. There are 200 plus implementations of these products that we are aware of, and our ecosystem also consists of 450 plus active contributors. Now, these are the individuals who roll up their sleeves and get the work done. They are people, many of them volunteers from different global genomic initiatives, And everything we do is driven by the genomic community. And one way we tap into that community is through our driver projects, who are external initiatives that commit to the GA4GH mission and help to not only develop standards and identify the need for them, but they also help to pilot and test those standards once they're ready. This diagram shows how we work. So the left side of the diagram explores who's involved in the community, and the right side shows the infrastructure and different working groups that they can be part of. And at our core, we are a standards developing body. That work takes place within the GA4GH work streams, of which there are 8. So these are the 8 work streams, and they're all focused on a different kind of problem area, with regulatory and ethics and data security being foundational work streams that cut across all the work of the others. And within each one is different subgroups that work on developing their own specific technical product or policy. A technical product might look like an API, a file format, or a data model or schema. We've been developing standards in these groups now for many years, and it's become increasingly clear that as we create standards, we also need to put some more effort into supporting the implementation of standards. So I'm going to go back to that diagram to show you that one of the ways we help with the implementation of the products that are created here in the work streams is through the GA4GH Implementation Forum. Another way that we do that is through the communities of interest, and this is where the neuroscience community fits in. Not only do we want to understand how our standards can potentially fit into what you guys are already doing, but we also want to understand what your needs are and what we can do to help develop the standards that would make a real difference in your field. And now, I'm saying we want to develop, but remember that when I'm talking about we and the community, I'm talking about the collective neuroscience community, which consists of all of you. So in a nutshell, to answer the question of what is GA4GH's role in the neuroscience community, it's to bring all of you together to work on projects, follow up on the ideas that the community has collectively identified, and then to help bring those ideas to life and support you in bringing them to the finish line. And that might look like scheduling those meetings, hosting hackathons, and generally doing whatever it is you need to be done to move the needle forward. And so we have a lot of experience doing this for the genomics field, and it's been quite successful. So now we want to see what we can do for the neuroscience field. And we know that we are not alone. It's very likely that a lot of the ideas that come out of this community will end up, being filtered into INCF or a bridge working group. And that's totally fine. That's actually more than fine. We just want to make sure that those ideas have a fighting chance and that they get filtered to wherever they need to go. And this is not the first time that we partnered with an external organization outside of our kind of realm of expertise. I'd specifically like to call out our partnership with PHAGE, the Pathogen Health Alliance for Genomics and Epidemiology. We partnered with them to host the infectious disease community and have provided a similar level of support that I've just explained. So these are the 5 communities of interest. You'll see here, neuroscience was the 4th community to be developed. And each one is a little bit different, and they run a little differently because the needs of each community varies. But at their core, they are domain-focused groups promoting global cooperation, data sharing, and collaborative research through the identification of needs for new standards, and also implementing existing GA4GH, and in this case, INCF standards. And I'm sure this has already been covered by Randy and Francis, so I'll move on to my last slide here, which is just to say, that I've listed here what I see as the main strengths and opportunities for growth that GA4GH can bring to the neuroscience community. We bring convening power and existing infrastructure of staff for support, and we're very open and flexible to the needs of the community. That being said, we are the new kids on the block. We a lot of the work that we do depends heavily on you all coming together and attending those working meetings, leading these projects. And I'm just really thankful that so far there's been a really great uptake and interest in this community. We have our theme team leads who are doing amazing work. And I'm really excited for all of you to learn a little bit more about what's been happening and hopefully participate in those groups so that we can, move that needle forward. So to close, I'd just like to say thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I'm sure my colleagues in person will be more than happy to field them. But if there's anything I can help with, feel free to email me at neerja.scantharaja@ga4gh.org. My email is at the start of my section of the slide deck, which we can share in chat, I'm sure. Thanks a lot, and have a great rest of the meeting.